here, and then the first reading would be held at any specially called meeting or the next normal voting meeting.
Right.
And then there'd be the second reading, just follow the normal process.
Okay. Okay, doke. All right, thank you. And that takes care of our ordinances. We're now down.
If I could, Mayor.
Yes.
There was one citizen comment that I didn't get the opportunity to respond to. If I could, real quick, I won't take but 1 minute. But
go ahead.
The gentleman, and I'm sorry, I forget, Mr. Hudson. I think you raised some, obviously valid concerns about the state of the city's finances, particularly in the long term. And I'll just give you the short, uncomplicated answer. And I'm happy to talk with you in more detail if you'd like to later. But in a nutshell, we do have cash on hand to cover the upfront cost of this program. But also every professional estimate we've heard, both from our own staff and from professionals in other communities that have done this before, are that this program would reduce our annual operating expenses. So there's a one-time expense to get it going, but then there are long-term annual cost savings that go on every year thereafter. So, I mean, the concept is that over time, this will just keep saving the city more and more money. So the purpose of this, at least from my perspective, is as a long-term cost-saving measure. And this isn't being done despite the budget. This is being done because of the budget and in order to help our budget in the long term.
Okay, and then comment that there's still no certainty in anything that we have. Okay, let's move on now to the orders. Orders.
You want me to do that?
City manager usually does this.
Okay. Order 5.1 is the order amending order number 4, 2011 series, creating citizen task force for study form-based code. The purpose is to extend the date by which the citizen task force studying the form-based code for South Frankfort is to submit its findings and recommendations to the Board of Commissioners.
Okay, we have a motion to approve order 5.1. Commissioner Hedden, motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second from Mr. Wilder. Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Wilder?
Yes.
Commissioner Hadden? Yes. Commissioner May?
Yes.
Mayor Graham?
Yes, so order 5.1 is adopted. Next to resolutions.
Resolutions. Let's see. Resolution 6.1, authorizing the mayor to make application for and upon approval to enter into an agreement with the Kentucky Office of Homeland Security. Application for 2011 Kentucky Homeland Security to execute any documents which are deemed necessary by KOHS to facilitate and administer the grant funds for mobile data computers and to act as the authorized correspondent for this project.
Okay, do I have a motion for approval of orders 6.1? Commissioner May?
Second.
Second, Commissioner Wilder. Any questions, comments? Call the roll.
Commissioner Wilder?
Yes.
Commissioner Hadden? Yes. Commissioner May?
Yes.
Mayor Graham?
Yes, the order 6.1 is adopted.
6.2, a resolution authorizing the mayor to make application for and upon approval to enter into an agreement with Kentucky Office of Homeland Security application for 2011 Kentucky Homeland Security to execute any documents which are deemed necessary by the KOHS to facilitate and administer grant funds for Tactical Response Unit night optical equipment and to act as the authorized correspondent for this project. This is funding of $14,000.
Okay, do we have a motion for approval of order 6.2? Commissioner May, second Commissioner Hedden. Any questions, comments? Call the roll.
Commissioner Wilder?
Yes.
Commissioner Hadden? Yes. Commissioner May?
Yes.
Mayor Graham?
Yes, so order 6.2 is adopted.
Item 6.3, resolution authorizing the mayor to make application for and upon approval to enter into an agreement with Kentucky Office of Homeland Security application for 2011 Kentucky Homeland Security, KOHS, to execute any documents which are deemed necessary by the KOHS to facilitate and administer grant funds for SCBA bottle replacements and to act as the authorized correspondent for this project. This funding amounts to $24,000.
Okay, is there a motion for approval of order 6.3? Commissioner Wilder, you got a second? Mr. Hedden, any comments, questions? Call the roll.
Commissioner Wilder?
Yes.
Commissioner Hadden? Yes. Commissioner May?
Yes.
Mayor Graham?
Yes, so order 6.3 is adopted.
Item 6.4, resolution approving a master lease purchase agreement dated as of November 1, 2011 between publicfinance.com and the City of Frankfort and scheduled number 1. The purpose is to adopt a resolution and authorize the execution of a lease agreement and other related documents with the publicfinance.com by the City of Frankfort with respect to 2 new ambulances. The agreement is a lease purchase agreement, and the amount of the payments due under the lease is approximately $297,670 over a 5-year period. This is for 2 new ambulances.
Okay, do we have a motion for approval of 6.4? Commissioner Hedden, you got a second? Commissioner Wilder, questions, comments? Call the roll.
Commissioner Wilder?
Yes.
Commissioner Hadden? Yes. Commissioner May?
Yes.
Mayor Graham?
Yes, so order 6.4 is adopted. And now we're down to the consent calendar. Mr. Goins.
Thank you, Mayor. Item 7.1, to establish and approve season pass and daily fees rates for the Juniper Hill Golf Course. This is for the 2012 season. The rate proposal is an across-the-board $5 increase for season pass rates, along with a $1 increase for daily greens fees for the 2012 golf season. Item 7.2, to approve Parks, Recreation, Historic Sites rate schedule for 2012. The purpose of this item is to consider approving the rate schedules for Parks, Recreation, Historic Sites. The proposal is these fees will remain the same as they are in 2011. Item 7.3, authorize the filing of an application for 2011 Brownfield Assessment Grant Funds and designating the mayor to execute all grant documents pertaining to this application. The purpose is to authorize the filing of an application for 2011 Brownfield Assessment Grant Funds and to designate the mayor to execute all grant-related documents. Item 7.4, to authorize the filing of an application for 2012 Kentucky League of Cities Safety and Liability Grant Funds and designating the mayor to execute all grant documents pertaining to this application. The purpose is to authorize the filing of this application for safety and liability grant funds to authorize the mayor to execute these documents pertaining to this application. These will include safety items such as traffic cones and vests, safety barricades, barrels, and alerts to the public of possible open sewer covers. This grant will help recoup up to $1,500 for those expenses for our sewer department. Item 7.5, to authorize the mayor to sign full release of mortgage for property located at 100 Jones Lane. This has to do with the sewer department, and the purpose of this is to have the mayor to sign a full release of mortgage for the property located at 100 Jones Lane. Item 7.6, to authorize an agreement with Taylor & Taylor Associates Incorporated to upgrade the South Frankfort National Register District nomination Phase 3 and authorize the mayor to sign all related documents and contracts. The local match for this grant is 40%, which would be local obligation 5106. Item 7.7, to authorize the mayor to sign an updated statewide mutual agreement for the Kentucky Division of Emergency Management. This is through Emergency Preparedness Coordinator Darren Rambo. Item 7.8, to authorize an award of an engineering contract for Hazen and Sawyer PSC for engineering support to install security equipment at the wastewater treatment plant and authorize the mayor to sign all documents related to this contract. The total contract is not to exceed $18,500. Item 7.9, to approve Amendment 1 to the engineering services agreement with QK4 for the final design and preparation of bidding and contract documents for a storm sewer separation project to remove storm water from the Louisville Hill Road, and authorize the mayor to sign all documents associated with this amendment. The original contract's $56,000. The amendment is $82,000 for a total contract of $138,000. Item 7.10, to award a 3-year equipment rental contract to CC Moore Incorporated. The city sometimes requires large construction equipment for the public works, sanitary sewer, and parks and recreation projects. Item 7.11, to authorize purchase of a new 2012 Ford Super Duty F550 dump truck and snowplow for the street department. The total amount of this purchase will be $65,685. Item 7.12, to approve the lowest bid for rubbish and removal at 111 Phillips Street and to execute the memorandum of agreement. Approval of the lowest bid for rubbish removal will execute the memorandum of agreement with John Feisel for the demolition and debris removal. The 2 quotes received were John Feisel Jr., $2,000, CC Moore, $4,050, and the bid was awarded to John Feisel for $2,000. Item 7.13, to approve the lowest bid for the demolition of structure and rubbish removal at 406 Arlington Avenue to execute the memorandum of agreement. And this agreement will be with CC Moore for demolition and debris removal. CC Moore's quote was $6,500. John Feisel Jr.'s quote was $7,800, and the bid is given to CC Moore for $6,500. 7.14, the approval of the lowest bid for demolition and structure and rubbish removal at 813 and 813 1/2 4th Street and to execute the memorandum of agreement. The 2 quotes received were John Feisel, $8,800, CC Moore, $97.75, and it's awarded to John Feisel at $8,800. 7.15, to authorize the disposal of surplus property by public auction for the police department. Item 7.16, to authorize the mayor to sign a memorandum of understanding between the City of Frankfort and Franklin County Health Department to permit the Franklin County Health Department to use the E911 dispatch center as a 24/7, 365 backup answering point in case of an emergency. Item 7.17, to authorize an award of contract amendment to Palmer Engineering Company Incorporated for easement acquisition for the Fort Boone Pump Station replacement project along Wilson Boulevard. The original contract was not to exceed $60,700. This 2000 amendment brings the total contract to $62,700, not to exceed. 7.18, to authorize a bid award to Indiana Reline Incorporated for the Myrtle Avenue Culvert Replacement Project. This is for the Public Works Department. The city received 2 bids that range from a high of $84,600 to a low of $52,560 submitted by Indiana Reline. And this is awarded to Indiana Reline. 7.19, to authorize the submission of an electronic application for EPA's Building Blocks for Sustainable Communities Initiative to promote the principles of smart growth, livability, and sustainable communities. This is through our grants manager, Rebecca Hall. Item 7.20 are personnel actions. First being a retirement of Douglas Taylor from Sanitation Department. Second being resignation of Kishma Smith from Police 911. Resignation of Dennis Hodge, Fire and EMS. Resignation, Andrew Kamak, Parks and Recreation. Promotion of David Gibson with Public Works in the Street Department. Appointments, these are first appointments, Police 911 would be Lindsey Barnett. Following appointments to our Firefighter 1 positions on the Fire and EMS. Jeffrey Rogers, Johnny Carpenter, Kenneth Pendleton, Samuel Bossy, Ryan Champ, Timothy Southard, and Shannon McGahee. Also, permission to make one conditional offer of employment for the position of firefighter EMT recruit. 9 fire EMS personnel have retired or resigned since January 1st, 2011, in addition to 8 pre-existing vacant positions, 2 of which are funded in the current budget. In addition, 5 current employees have given verbal notice that they intend to retire in the next 10 months. The request to make this conditional offer of employment is contingent upon successful completion of background, medical, psychological, polygraph, and drug screen examinations. Also, permission to make one conditional job offer for the position of telecommunicator 1 in order to continue in-depth background investigation of a candidate. The position is to replace a telecommunicator who has resigned. This conditional job offer is contingent upon successful completion of psychological, polygraph, and drug screen examinations. This concludes the...
Okay, do we have a motion for the approval of the consent calendar? Commissioner May, do you have a second? Commissioner Hedden. Okay, please call the roll.
Commissioner Wilder,
Yes.
Commissioner Hadden,
Yes.
Commissioner May,
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes, so the consent calendar is approved. Next on the agenda for board appointments, and there being none for this month. Next is old business. No business. Commissioner Hedden.
In February, we had some firefighters show up in regard to the promotional process. We were told that in May, the ordinance would be looked at. We were then told again it would be done in August. It's now almost December, and I'm just wondering where this is.
I regret to report that it's still not ready. We've been inundated with issues, projects, trying to hire new people, as you just saw on the consent calendar. So it's not ready yet. We're trying to get it implemented before we start the next promotional process, which we hope will be January.
So you're trying to implement it, but it hasn't been?
No, trying to get it drafted for your approval to be implemented.
Okay.
Trying to finish the draft of it. There's a major police part, and major fire part, and it's a big job.
And then while you're up here, Chief, I just have one other question. That's the vacancy of the fire chief. I'm not the chief. The
We meant to tell you, I'm sorry.
I worked for Wally many years.
It's the medicine, I'm sure. It's
The fire marshal.
drying my brain with my sinuses.
Fire marshal.
Fire marshal.
Fire marshal, yes.
It's been vacant for 90 days, is that correct?
Yes.
There's an ordinance that says vacancies in ranks shall be filled as far as practicable within 90 days of occurrence.
It's not a vacancy in rank. That's an appointed temporary assignment. I've had several discussions with the city manager and the HR director on that. I did accept internal applications, have not acted on any of those yet. As a matter of fact, we're looking at whether it's best to fill it from within or to go outside due to various issues. So we have not acted on it yet, but I do want to get it filled as soon as possible because I'm doing both jobs now, fire chief and fire marshal. So I need someone in there as soon as I can get it done.
So the people on our staff aren't qualified for it, or?
I'm not saying they're not qualified. I'm trying to determine whether it is best to fill it from within or, as the ordinance says, to fill it from outside our ranks with
If I peek at this.
Yeah, you got it.
with possible other extremely qualified candidates.
This doesn't require you to fill it from within if
No,
practicable?
no. Which section are you looking at?
40.17, promotional.
Look at, I believe, 40.36.
40.36.
I believe I think that's the right section, I'm not sure.
No, civil service.
If these positions cannot be filled from within these positions shall be filled from within the ranks of the fire department if practicable.
If practical.
Practicable.
Oh, it's a misprint.
Is that a typo? Okay,
Yes.
I was debating the meaning of that
It
word.
should say practical,
If practical.
yes.
No, it's practicable,
It is practicable.
That's a legal term they use, so.
Is that synonymous with practical?
Yes, it is.
Okay, thank you.
Practical.
So this says that it shall be filled from within the ranks of the fire department if practical. Just clarifying that.
Again, no final determination has been made. I've talked to all the internal applicants, of which I had 3. But I recently had a conversation with, or a couple conversations with the HR director and briefly with Mr. Goins last week or so. So we want to just make sure that we're filling it with the most qualified person before we actually make a move. But I do want to get it done soon, very soon.
Chief, was there a change in the funding of that position?
In the funding,
In the funding, or am I thinking about another position?
no.
Retirement status, hazardous duty or non-hazardous.
Oh, is that what you're referring to, hazardous duty?
Yes.
Yes, that's one of the things, one of the considerations. With the pension reform that became effective in 2009, that position was ruled by CERS Retirement Board that once it was vacated, which happened this past July with the incumbent, that from that point on, when it was refilled, it would be a non-hazardous duty position. So if I fill it from within the ranks of the fire department, the person that takes that job is going to go from hazardous to non-hazardous, which is going to affect their long-term retirement.
Which I guess if they're filing for the job, they're willing to take.
Yes, and that was one of the reasons that I have not acted sooner. I wanted to give all 3 candidates the opportunity to get an appointment with and meet with the CERS board to discuss their own personal situation on how it would affect their long-term career and long-term retirement. They have all done that. They've all indicated that they're willing to make that move should they get appointed, which means they'd have to work longer in the fire department to get full retirement. But there's also concern about if I can use them in an emergency capacity, i.e. A couple of them are paramedics, so I have some concerns about continuing to work them on an ambulance with them being in a non-hazardous capacity. I think I have more concern about it than they do, but it is a concern of mine. So all those things we're looking at.
That's all I got, thanks, Chief. Okay. Sorry about the mess up in my words, too.
Okay, any other old business? Any new business? Okay.
If we may,
Yes.
Mayor, it's been quite some time since we've given you a report about our success in receiving grants, and Rebecca's been doing a great job, and all the staff have been pretty aggressive about going after grants. So we would like to give you a brief report of some recent grant activity.
I just backed up till the July 1st for our current FY12 grant, 2012 grants. We have received, or will be receiving this year, $642,000 in public transportation money, and that includes general public transportation, job access, New Freedom, and also training for our drivers. We have received $28,872 in recycling grant money that included equipment, education, and advertising funding. We received $6,000 from the Easton Foundation for archery equipment. We just recently found out we will be receiving $30,000 from Land and Water Conservation for a pavilion at Cave Cove Springs, the upper deck where the Sky Trail is. Also for certified local government, and you guys know about these projects, but we never officially announced that we got the funding. But for the Second Street Form-Based Code, we received $9,900, and for the Phase 3 South Frankfurt study, $7,669. And also the 3 Homeland Security grants on the agenda tonight, we had already submitted a pre-application, so the 3 grants on the agenda tonight for the self-contained breathing apparatuses, the night vision equipment, and the mobile data computers are approved. We did receive that funding. And we have 3 grants that are pending: a recreational trails grant, the 2010 flood CDBG disaster recovery, and a safe routes to school grants that we are have a joint application with the county. So as soon as we find out about those 3, I'll let you all know. And that's it.
Okay, thank you. I had jotted down something for, it's both new business and old business, I guess, but just as a comment, an observation. It was brought up on one of the citizens' comments tonight about difficulty getting people to serve on boards because of public announcement or from the commission publicly addressing certain people. And according to ordinance, my role is to maintain order and decorum. And I would really like to ask that we not bring up individual names of former commissioners and others. I just don't think there's no good purpose comes from that. Okay, I'm ready for adjournment. Do I get a motion for adjournment? Commissioner May, got a second?
I'll second.
Commissioner, call roll.
Commissioner Wilder,
Yes.
Commissioner Hadden,
Yes.
Commissioner May,
Yes.
Mayor Graham.
Yes, we are adjourned.